again to another class where we talk about our physical and health education. Today's topic we're going to be treating about creative rhythmic activities. Creative rhythmic activities. Before we start completely, what's that word? What's this word all about? Creative and rhythmic. Now, from inception, we know that creativity has to do with something that you do out of the box in the normal sense of things. Doing something that is not easily thought of by anybody. Doing something your own way. Now, the word rhythmic, as we'll come to see, has to do with a pattern. A pattern that is fashioned by uniformity. You're doing something in uniform, in unison. That means you're doing in rhythm. Let's get started. Now, in today's topic, we're going to focus on the types of rhythmic activities, examples of rhythmic activities, and the classification of the skills involved in rhythmic activities. Creative rhythmic activities refer to activities expressed by rhythmic creative body movements. So you're making some creative body movements. As a matter of fact, this can also be linked into our creative acts. Those performances we put into our play shows. The dramas and the singing and every other kinds of art we put out there. But today on, we are focused on the display, the performance type, the one that have to do with you moving your body in unison. Any body movement of children creatively express external morphology and state of motion of specific things on the basis of self-observation, imitation, understanding, and imagination. Now, the types of rhythmic activities. Now, there are three fundamental types or three main types of rhythmic activities, which are fundamental rhythms, creative rhythms, and dramatic rhythms. Now, the last two we will not dwell in that much, but the main one we are going to focus on is the fundamental rhythmic activity. Fundamental rhythmic rhythms include walking, running, skipping, and other fundamental movements. While creative rhythms is involved with movement that initiates animal or man. Now, if you notice very well, when we talk about this creative part now, things like marching comes into the fore. Now, there are some animals that always use a particular pattern to take care to notify themselves. For example, the baboon, the olive baboon has been known to use hand gestures to signal, like human beings, to signal one another. They don't have to set their hand. When they set it, they'll stay the same way. Also, the meerkat has been known that they are like military men. They all observe at the same time. They all have their scouts, and when the scouts give the signal or the shout, all of them tend to stand up at the same time and take a particular posture that denotes them paying attention. Creative rhythms. These are the way we tend to communicate and display our body movements. The last part of the rhythmic activities is the dramatic rhythms. This could be based on story or idea, a poem, an emotion, or a song. Now, like the name implies, you know it's for dramas. It's for the theater arts. Hence why I said this can also be found in creative arts too. Because rhythm and rhythmic. The word rhythm goes with music. The word rhythm goes with classical intonations. The word rhythm also goes with dancing. It goes with drama, actors, play acts. It also goes with basic body movement. But in this case, we're talking about the physical and health. So let's find out to focus on just the body movements. Hence why we don't need the other two. Now, examples of creative rhythmic activities skills are skills that includes walking, running, hopping, skipping, galloping, and sliding to music. Moving to music with a partner or in a group with others in a circle or in a square. Now we see around us many a times that we tend to be involved in basic body movement or body gestures. I mean, you could see those that do ballet dancing. When they dance, they tend to move in their emotions, they tend to move in unison, and there's a point where one of them will go up and the other one tends to catch. And we see those that also do choreography, they tend to do a different dynamics, where some will climb on the shoulders, some will display something, and they will do the back fling, and they will tend to be caught by those down. All are creative ways of expressing body movements and body gestures. Even in our walking, some of us have styles we walk. Some of us love to walk. I mean, I have a friend of mine who walks in a very weird way. His neck, if he wants to walk straight, his neck must be this way. His neck must be positioned from my direction right now to the east. So it must be positioned this way, and it's moving to the right path when he's moving. But if his neck is straight, he will be moving zigzag. What do I mean? If his neck is straight, he will be moving not zigzag per se, he will be moving diagonally. That's what I'm looking for. He will not be moving straight, he will be moving diagonally. He will be moving this way, in the form of a diagonal angle shape, like a 45 degrees or 60 degrees. He won't be moving 90 degrees straight. He'll be moving this way. Why? That's how his body mechanism is designed to function. We all have our different ways we walk. Some people are prone to walking fast when they are having items on their back. Some people are prone to walking slow when they're having items on their back. Some tends to walk in different dynamics. I've ever heard of a lady that walks horizontally. She doesn't walk straight, like a sidewinder. That's why if you look at the motion of what we call the sidewinders and the snakes, specifically the sidewinders are the rattlesnakes. Now the rattlesnakes, they don't move like the normal snake in a straight form, even if it's in an S-shaped movement. They don't move that way. They move in that same S-shaped movement, but from their side. So they use their side, and they use their side to move. So you don't have to move now, the snake have to be coiled this way. And they'll be using this way I'm doing. Why they're coming to you? They are like this shape, but they're moving like this. They're not moving like this. They're moving like this. So from their side of their body. Hence why they call them the sidewinders. So you can see their mechanism is not to function like the normal cobra snakes or the other mambas and the rest. They only to function as a sidewinder. That's how some of us function. So when you see people walking like that, don't laugh at them. Don't walk at them. That's their own pattern of walking. So we see rhythmic activities in the way we walk. In fact, these days they start using it now for Olympics, the anaerobic area of Olympics, where people in the gymnastic area, you see people that do sideways movements as a gymnastic movement. You have the next one, running. Similar to how we talked about the walking. There's running. Now running has to do, unlike walking, has to do with the motion of placing, moving a step at a time. Running has to do with fast pace. So one is slow pace, one is fast pace. So let's see more about them just to highlight us. So we have the walking. It's a continuous process of losing and recovering balance. So you're moving, you're losing, and you're recovering balance with each stride, with each step you take. Meanwhile, on the other hand, similarly, but running has to do with a rapid movement. So while one is slow movement, one is rapid. It has to do, it's the movement that involves transferring of weight from one foot to the other foot at a fast pace. Now, one has to do with losing, so you're losing and recovering of balance, which is walking. But it's at a slow pace, one foot at a time. But running is a rapid movement, so the weight distribution The weight distribution is moved from left to right, right to left, left to right at a very quick pace. If, as a matter of fact, while recording this right now, while having this session right now, we are having the World Athletic Championship going on at Budapest. If you're following up that series, you will see people that are running, you see the 100 meters dash or sprint, you see the 200 meters race, you see the relay races, you see the long distance. And in those activities, in fact, in the different sports, in the different fields, you will see the different creative rhythmic activities, the different creative rhythmic movements, that body movement that are taken. For example, you don't expect your Usain Bolt to start running like your Haile Gabriel Selassie, who is one of the best distance runner of all time. You don't expect Usain Bolt to run a long distance at that fast pace he usually uses. Now we all know Usain Bolt is a household name. He's the fastest runner in the world of all time. He's a record holder in terms of sprint. He has even been known to at least match 2/3 of the cheetah's speed. The only man to match 2/3 of the cheetah, the fastest animal on land, speed. Nobody can come close to that. So you don't expect to run at that fast pace and also recover or to cover a lot of distance. You will also see that with the animals too. I just mentioned this cheetah. Why not talk about the cheetah? The cheetah can run very fast, but at a short dash, at a short distance. So it's not as lumbering, or it's not as docile, or it's not as versatile. Let me use the word versatile. As, say, for example, the hyena. The hyena has a lot of endurance. The weight distribution of the distribution of his weight from his legs are so well fine-tuned. That's why you see the front of his leg of the hyena is longer than the back leg, having a hop back. Now the back is having now help him to distribute his weight finely. But if you see the cheetah is built for the speed and is built for the short distance speed. If he doesn't catch his prey in a very fast time, you will start to see him gasp for air. Why? Because that's how his body mechanism is. He has trained himself that way. His physiology, his physical ability is built that way. That's how running is all about. The contact with the ground with both feet. Now we have another one that's known as hopping. Now with this one, you give me an example of an animal that hops. With this one, moving up and down on one foot. Moving up and down on one foot. There's an animal that is prone to hopping. Every time it wants to display for the female, for example, it's mostly the male. They tend to do something, they raise one leg up and start hopping. So when you hop, one leg is up, one leg is down, and you just listen. Now we usually use this when we're playing our games. The games where we draw a square, a rectangular circle, a rectangular box, and we draw lines, and we throw some maybe a stone or an item or the components used at that moment. Then we hop with one leg. If both feet touches the ground, you've lost. So you can see the creativity we brought with this rhythmic activity or this rhythmic movement, body movement. The next one is jumping, going up and down with both feet in the air at once. Now you're going to give me again an animal, the name of an animal that jumps very well, that carries out this part called jumping. Remember, jumping is going up and down with both feet in the air at once. So both feet going, this is jumping. And also jumping off a height. Now in a different way, this where we know a lot, we jump off a height or jumping forward, where we have the long jump. Now if you look at the long jumpers again in the athletic field, you see when they take their leap off, the both legs are on the air and they land with both feet on the ground. Talking about leaping. Now let's enter leaping, jumping forward. Again, similar to jumping, but this one is jumping forward or backward with one leg stretched. So one leg is going forward, one leg is going backward. That's why you see when the athletes that handle the triple jump or the long jump, they do more of leaping because they tend to propel themselves forward with one leg. They stretch themselves with one leg and they now fold the leg together before they land. So they take off with one leg. So you're going forward or back with one leg stretched, taking off on one foot and landing on the other. That's what we're talking about just now. That's leaping. We have the next one known as galloping. Galloping. Again, you give me a name of an animal. One of your homework will be get me a name of an animal that gallops a lot. It's just galloping. I've already helped you with an answer just now. Just gave you an idea. That what he's going. Is galloping. It's a forward slide movement. Front foot steps forward with a little spring followed by the transfer of body weight. This animal is quite good at it. Okay, let me give the animal first. You're going to give me another one because I'm not starting for another animal. The animal I'm talking about is the bear. The bear gallops a lot. In fact, that's why the bear tends to cover a lot of distance. That's been known to be one of the best nomads, the bears. The bears are one of the best nomads in the world. They can just be going, they are distributing their weight very well. Remember, they are the biggest land predators. The apex predators, they are the biggest. Nothing is as big as the bear, especially the active bear, or known as the, some people call it the snow bear or the active bear, but the former name is the, can I just keep my mind just now? I'll get the name for you later. So when it's coming, it's galloping and it's taking air, one step, sliding ahead, going with a spring. It uses paws to feel the surface. The bear is one of the animals that feels the vibration from the earth. So it's feeling, as it's going, it's also feeling, that's why it uses its nose that is 10 times as strong as a human's nose, even 100 times, to pick up smell in the air. Why? Because of its body movement. The body movement or the body mechanism of a bear was built to be an apex predator and the highest predator, the highest animal. It is built to survive on water, on land, and even on high peaks, high mountains, places that are high. The bear tends to have a good grip to handle those kind of heights, much like how our mountain climbers use. So, having said this, we left a few of them. One of them is the skipping. Skipping is hopping at a sport. Skipping is just hop one step at the other and put it ahead of yourself. I will allow you to go another homework for you before you get your formal work to do at home. I'll allow you to go again, research about skipping. Write it out and study it very well. That is for you to find, a research for you, for your self-study. Now, your evaluation before we end for today. What is creative rhythmic activity? What is creative rhythmic activities? Number 2, mention any 2 types of creative rhythmic activities that you know. 2 types. And then number 3, state 4 examples of skills of creative rhythmic activities. Just following that question will be, out of those skills we mentioned, you state rather, explain any 2 of those skills. Explain it, including the skipping. So explain 3. The skipping and any other 2 creative rhythmic activity skill you know. Now let's get a question from our exam guide. Now, in the year 2020, there was a question that was given to the students then to answer. In the question number 50, it was asked of the student. By the way, everything we'll be speaking about, everything we'll be talking about, all the body movement or the creative rhythmic movement, they are all linked to what we call the locomotor movement. The word locomotor means the ability to be able to propel and move yourself forward. Locomotive, you're able to move. So the movement is what we call locomotor movement. And they're asking here, which of the following is a locomotor movement? So don't make a mistake. The word locomotor deals with every one of these movements we've stated, and there are more even. We've just stated a few. There are way more. There are up to 12 or 15 of them, depending on which one you want to use. Mainly in the gymnastic angles. Those gymnasts are those into the gymnastic area or field of sports or games, and the ones that are familiar with so many of these movements. Now they're asking us between A, pulling, B, pushing, C, skipping, D, stretching, and E, swinging. Which of these is part, or rather is a locomotor movement? Let me just take my time now to just break down each of them, then answer the question. A, pulling. Pulling has to do with you applying force to something for something to move. It's not you propelling yourself forward. So that's out of the game. We have B, pushing. Pushing has to be, in this other way, there's a drag. In pulling, there's a drag. But in pushing, there's a force exerted to move something forward. So pushing has to be a forward movement of the hand or the body to move something forward. So while one is dragging and dragging it backward, one is pushing forward other. So again, is you exerting force, is not you moving your body per se. The next one is skipping. Skipping again has to do with you hopping, and it's linked to hopping, it's linked to galloping. You tend to use it also when we're doing our exercises and our movements. We tend to skip and do it at a organized, as a rhythmic, as a unified method or means. Then D has to do with stretching. Again, stretching is is more linked to physical fitness. You are making sure your body, you're waking up in the morning, you're stretching, you're making sure your blood circulates around your body and your body responds to your neurons in your body. So that is more about stretching. Then E is swinging. Now, if you're on the swing and you're on the pendulum swing or your swing, you're just doing your swing at home, you're moving to and fro. You're not really propelling your body. You're not the one moving your body. It's a machine or it's a device that is moving you. It's not you moving your body. Thus, the answer that makes sense in this whole, among these options, will be option C, which is you skipping. So, whenever you see questions like this, remember, go through and get familiar with all the body movements, and as it is related to the locomotor, the creative rhythmic activities. The body movement or the locomotor movement, as it is related to the creative rhythmic activities in skipping, in jogging, in balancing, in galloping, in hopping, in running, in walking, all of them. Even in marching, in marching. When you march, you're propelling yourself forward, and it's done in a unified method. Even your hand swinging while you're marching is done in a unified method. So the means by which you can move your body is the locomotion. By which your body tends to be able to move is locomotion. And all living, especially the plants, rather the animals, man and animals, humans and animals, all have this locomotion movement in them. Till next time, hope you have a blast and do enjoy yourself and have a wonderful day.